That guy's very entertaining. He's good at what he does. He's good at what he does. But, all things being relative, it also is kind of depressing at the same time. And maybe it gives credence to people like old Diane. diANtinatalist. She's been out there. Apparently, she has a TikTok now, too. See, I've noticed here a little TikTok symbol in some of her videos. But she's back with another coloring book, the ABCs of Antinatalism coloring book for these very serious, very important, very wise adults. It's very good stuff. I'm very curious to see what's inside, honestly. Prophet says, I think zesty is my current favorite black slang. No cap on God. Lord Sigma says, Beetlejuice is getting his dick sucked. That's what happens. All right. Let's see what Diane's up to. Spreading the good word, Diane?
This coloring book was very geniusly and creatively created by Life Sucks.
Oh, she has such a way with words, So beautifully and creatively created.
Very geniusly and creatively created
Geniusly,
by Life
creatively
Sucks
created.
Publishing.
Life Sucks?
And Life Sucks is a YouTube channel. I'm going to start off with the one.
Prophet says, laugh out loud coloring book. Grow up, Diane. Buy some figurines like an adult. Okay?
That says consent. And the woman up the top says, I'm off the pill. Let's impose life on someone. And the man goes,
oh my God. They're so clever. They're so clever. Oh my God.
Sounds fun. Luckily for us, we don't need consent. Oops. Looks like we made a monster.
Oops. Looks like we made a freak two-headed cyclops, baby. Oh my God. What were we thinking?
Thank Christ this isn't a crime. And you don't even have to create a monster for you to create havoc and to create pain, suffering, and eventual death.
I mean, like, what is the intention of these other than distributing it to each other? Like, if this is a piece of kind of activist material, like, what are they going to do? They're going to, like, go to, like, daycares and shit and donate them to libraries? I suppose that's what you would do, right? Because otherwise, it would be pointless. Because it's clearly nobody outside of this very fucking niche bubble would buy something like this. I got questions.
When imposing a risk or burden upon someone, a negative answer must be assumed unless they can offer their consent, as one cannot ask a child whether or not they would appreciate the harms of existence and eventual death. It would be unethical to decide for them, to have committed every crime but that of being a father, said the Romanian philosopher Emil Cioran in The Trouble with Being Born.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it's so tedious, dude. These people are fucking retarded, dude. There's nothing even else to say. What else is there to say at this point? Like, holy shit. Cringe.
And here's one. D is for death. We will all spend the majority of our time on earth as corpses, useless, decaying flesh and bone. Some deaths are painless, but most are not. Death is a harm.
I'm a nihilist who cares for nothing and wants nothing and hates everything. I'm just like kind of a fucking social pariah. I'm a leech. And this is how everybody really is. This is how life really, like most people have this experience, you know, of just nothing but the worst shit.
Harm and a permanent cessation of any possible future preference, satisfaction. The one and only way to avoid death is to not be born.
Oh, shit.
Sparing a new person from death and dying is the ultimate act of mercy. Yes, it is time to be able to incriminate those who plunge us into the disaster of existence.
Yeah, this is what they like. They're such psychopaths. They want to, find a way to attain some sort of power, in their fantasies here, and that they want to just like force you to kill yourself and force you to self-genocide. And if you don't agree, they'll just kill you. Like, this is psychopath shit. It's psychopath fantasy shit. It's wild. The lack of self-awareness that they have is astounding. Is astounding. Because they package it up in it's just the merciful thing to do. It's empathy, you know. There should come a time where we can incriminate those that bring life into this world. Yikes.
To procreate. Is this not to inflict death and torment? Said the Belgian writer and activist Théophile Diderot in The Art of Guillotining Procreators, an antinatalist manifesto.
Oh, cool. Guillotining the natalers. Hagbert says, you've covered Diane's long-lost sister, the vegan teacher, right? I don't know if I have, actually. I don't think so. I don't think I have.
And I've colored in a few of these pages.
Shit, the Grateful Exit, of course, is she started working on this because she knows it's almost time. Death is right upon her. She can feel it. She can feel its cold grasp reaching out.
Pages. H is for harm. Procreation puts a sensitive feeling being into a place where they can be harmed. They can be made to feel discomfort, annoyance, boredom, and pain, as well as physical and mental agony.
Yeah, especially with people like you in the world, Diane, that do this to people and are weird and gaslighting and mean-spirited, psychologically torture people on Facebook. Some lady, we talked about this a long time ago, some lady even had reached out, somebody that knew Diane personally, and told us of her Facebook battles. Trembling says, the vegan teacher bitch was stalking that Canadian YouTuber chick. That's why the Oompaville guy even more unhinged Diane. Oh, okay.
There is no escape from harm other than death, which is a serious harm. There are thousands of horrors that await a sentient being on planet Earth. Refraining from procreation is the one and only way to prevent the harm and horror that life imposes. So I'm just skipping through here to some various pages because I'm certainly not going to give away all of this book.
Yeah, you gotta buy it, okay? I'm not gonna be giving away its fucking magic.
Some coloring book. Vitality and health are taken from us by the aging process. A parent sentences their child to the bleakness of infirmity and finally to a slow, agonizing death. As one ages, all of the dreams of youth must be lost, one by one. Aging is the biggest risk factor.
I never did anything because I never tried to do anything because I didn't want to be born. Oh, just wonderful stuff. Just miserable people being miserable. Oh, fuck. Holy shit.
For all major diseases other than birth. Many optimists extol that humans are living longer every day. However, those final years are often spent in disease and dementia, and it would usually be better to die sooner rather than later. I agree, it is always better to die sooner than later.
Well, then what are you waiting for, girl? Death is a calling.
If we are placed into existence.
Yikes. Yikes. She is a fucking freak show. So she's in, I think she's in England right now. She's on one of her travails. And this one is called Elderly People. Elderly People. Elderly People. She's looking bushy-eyed. Or is that what it is? Bright-eyed? No, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So she's alive right now. Maybe she's getting out in the fresh air, It's probably good for her, not being in a house full of dog dander, laying on a filthy mattress, eating vegan chicken nuggets. It's good to get out, stretch the legs, get some fresh air. Elderly people. She's one of them. Let's see here. Tell us all about it, Diane.
Hello, everybody. This is diANtinatalist, and I'm standing by this sign in England in the coastal town of Seaham because I am elderly, or as we say in America, senior citizen.
She's like trying to own it, She's trying to become a boss bitch about it. She's probably heard what I was saying. I was like, we got to bring up her fading nature. It's something to talk about. It's something, especially, relative to her being an antinatalist. And, I appreciate the effort, Diane. Thank you. I know you watch these sometimes. So thank you. Thanks for doing it just for me. I appreciate it. Smile for me more. I really enjoy it.
To explain the patients needed for the older population, our eyesight, balance, hearing, reflexes, and muscles are all in the process of decay, atrophy, and decline.
She sat on a curb and wrote this manifesto, and she's so pleased with herself. She's so pleased with herself. She's so pleased with this performance. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a third or fourth take, honestly. She is a perfectionist.
We are rendered limited or incapable of doing many things in life, and walking across the street can be a challenge for some people.
And also, she never used to have to write the stuff down. We've noticed recently in the past year or so, she's been making more lists and whatnot and just kind of reading them off. It must be because of her decaying mind. Her atrophying.
Many seniors are also living alone or have no help. Which brings me to another issue. Generational trauma. This means that trauma is passed from one generation.
Does she work for A24? Is she writing the next horror hit directed by Ari Aster?
To the next. That impacts people and creates emotional or other intergenerational issues such as physical health, behavior, and relationships. It has a ripple effect. It results from both lack of awareness or stigma of the trauma. Subsequent generations.
She just has to find a way to make herself a victim even more. So it's just all, the vagaries of getting older and also this generational trauma. Oh my God, the psychic energy that was passed, the negative psychic energy that was passed down to me from my family, my bastard family that brought me into this world without permission.
Can pass down trauma and its outcomes. Denial is a red flag to look out for. It is a family problem. It's kind of windy here. This trauma may result from wars, incarceration, addiction, domestic violence, or sexual violence. 20% of males and 50% of females will endure sexual violence in their lifetimes. Some examples of trauma symptoms are emotional.
I mean, those are acceptable numbers. I'm kind of calling right now, Diane. They just are. Seems like that would be the case. We're just gonna have to roll with it.
Numbing, unresolved grief, isolation and withdrawal, anger, nightmares, substance abuse, and suicidal ideation, to name a few things. When I did research on this ancestral trauma, I began to realize that we all experienced this collective form of suffering. So basically, from an antinatalist perspective, we all inherited defects that impaired our well-being.
Oh man, I want Diane to get into like Yakub. That would be awesome if she started like talking about that shit. That would be the perfect marriage of everything we like.
What I find so sad today is that on forums where people discuss generational trauma, those people went on to reproduce. You cannot reproduce and not.
Listen, you have no control. You are a slave to just whatever's going to happen. Fate, destiny. You can't correct anything. You can't work on anything. No, these are not options, okay? Because that's just not how it works.
Inflict generational abuses. Life itself is trauma. So please put an end to this trauma for good and do not reproduce.
Maybe she's going to like walk off a fucking pier while she's there, you know? It's very dramatic, like. Just keep walking, Diane. Just go. Be free. Be free.
So I'm just going to scan around here. Like I said, this is a coastal town called Siam, and it's quite beautiful. It's quite quaint, and there's some English flowers and some residences.
Oh my God, Diane, are you enjoying something? Oh my God. Is there more to your life than just bad stuff? Oh my God.
And then the beaches over there. It's a cliff though, so it's a very rocky beach, and
oh, you should go check it out, Diane. You should go check it out, definitely. Go check it out. Be careful though, you know, but try to get as close to the edge as you possibly can.
Been doing some sea glass hunting and beachcombing. So anyway, that's my video.
You know, lonely, weird old lady stuff. You know, just that kind of stuff. Picking up stray cats.
So please be patient with us, elderly population.
I mean, I'm trying, Diane. I'm trying my best. Trying my best. She has one, I think that's the recent one with our boy Alex. Those are the best ones, you know? Maybe not, though. I thought there was. Believers and haters. Weather is unpredictable. To prevent further losses, don't have kids. Bad storm. My goodness. Adulting. No consent given to be forced to perform life's duties, like pumping gas. Oh, that's going to be a good one.
So, this is one of those duties that I really, really hate doing in life.
There is just no inconvenience too small for her to feel afflicted by. We're talking about pumping gas. Pumping gas. Prophet says, can you imagine how hard Diane would come if you just suffocated her right up to the edge of asphyxiation and then brought her back and did it again like Deadpool? Is it just me? I'd go on that ride. Also, can we talk about how fun race play with Candace Owens would be? Poor white man making her serve me expensive room service in a 5-star hotel she paid for, smoking cigarettes in the room? I guess I'm the only one.
And nowadays they use a word called adulting. People don't like adulting. And this is one of those.
And she's, she's picking up the lingo. She's like 10 years too late, but she's there. She's a Facebook lady. Okay, she's with the boomers. She's a Facebook lady. They're like 10 years behind everybody else on Facebook.
Those aspects about life that is forced upon you, because if you drive, which pretty much in America, you really do have to drive to get around or to go to work. But nobody asked you if you wanted to be forced into existence to do these things.
To do these things like pump fucking gas. How dare you?
To have these responsibilities, to have these obligations and these duties. So life was not consensual, and just because you don't want to adult doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you
No, it means you're insufferable. It means you're an insufferable person. That's what it means. If you're walking around talking about just doing normal stuff as adulting, you are like an adult child. You have a child's brain. Just like unreal. Unreal.
Obligations and these duties. So life was not consensual, and just because you don't want to adult doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you didn't consent to the obligations required of you.
She's like reaching out to the neat incel community. She's like, guys, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's your stupid parents' fault. That's whose fault it is. Bothersome facts of life that impact me greatly. Trust issues. Ooh, maybe we may get some good gossip in this one.
I'm going to go over this article that I just recently saw in the paper.
Whoa, look at all these redactions. Why did she redact a bunch of shit? Who are you? You working with the CIA?
And it's really bothered me. I've seen this. I've had this paper around for a couple of days, and I just really can't shake the bad energy that it yields. And one thing.
Oh, I'm just like having a meltdown about something that has nothing to do with me. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm a neurotic weirdo. Trebling says Diane tapes oven mitts to her dog's front paws so their nails don't scratch her up when they fuck her on the gross mattress. Well, I think that stinger says it all.
Thing that really, really bothers me in life is having to share the world with people who have just malevolent intent. And
she sounds like she's drunk, dude. She's like fucking wasted. She's slurring her words hard.
Utter greed and just sinister souls. So this particular situation happened.
Preach it, girl.
Practically in my backyard, and so that's why it really just bothers me so much that this particular guy tried to embezzle almost $1 million from Heinz Endowments, and he was employed there for many, many years, and he got caught in the end. But the thing that really bothers me is deceit.
It's the hypocrisy, okay? It's the lies. No more lies. Only truth. Traveling says Diane definitely belongs in the Ari Aster movie. She's a payment cultist for sure.
I'm just really horrified with deceit and lies and that's okay, baby. People who are utterly dishonest to the core.
I think she was talking to a dog. She just referred to her dog as baby. That's pretty intimate. I'm just saying.
And people who are, they're disrespectful to their employer or their place of employment. It's just really.
She really is. She's like a boomer conservatard. Like whenever she kind of reveals anything about her personal politics, she's like a company woman. You know?
It's horrifying to me. It's probably one of the most disrespectful things you can do. I mean, I've also hired people, and I felt like they were, not really honest. I even had.
She's talking about Mexican gardeners. That's who she's talking about. She's like, they're just shifty. They're just shifty, but they work cheap. They work cheap.
A fellow exaggerate the hours that he worked, and
she would clock him when he was in the shitter. She's like, you spent 4 hours of the 6 hours you were here in the shitter. I saw you, sir. Oh, no. Miss Diane, no. She's like, oh, I saw you. Oh, you can prove it? She's like, no, I can't. And this is why she feels the way she does.
I trusted him up until that point, paid him, then I never called him back. So when someone hires you, they put a lot of faith into you, and they put money into you, actually. Yeah. And they put their trust, their security into you. They've invested in you.
Oh, man. One day we got to return to the interview between Life Sucks 97 or whatever that guy's name was and Diane. Because this is Diane. This is how she's like company gal, right? And that dude is like basically like a r/anti-work guy / antinatalist just because. And they had a conversation, and we listened to like a half hour of it, but we got to return to that because it was such a crazy conversation. That guy had zero fucking balls, zero fucking spine. Because she was saying shit like this when she was talking to him about like, oh, lazy, bad workers and shit. And that's one of the reasons, one of the sufferings of Diane. No kids working at the fucking buffet.
And so this man, I'm going to read this story here. The Heinz Endowment said in a federal lawsuit, its former senior technology advisor embezzled nearly $1 million from the organization over a 7-year period. So this fellow, a 15-page complaint filed June 10th, accuses him, who also did consulting work for Heinz Family Office and the Heinz Family Foundation.
Like, why would the people that watch her videos have any interest in this at all? This is just some sort of weird fucking spurg out right here. This is a borderline meltdown. In Diane world, this is a meltdown. Trumlick says, I'm going to go back in time to about 1992 and make sure Diane gets a pill problem and about 5 of my kids push through her. It'll be a trashy life, but much less miserable than the one she's leading. I agree. I agree. She had just, mamaed up, just had a kid or two. She'd love life. She'd love it. She'd love it. She enjoys life. She enjoys life. This is the paradox of Diane. She loves to travel. She likes to talk to people. She's like a socialite, She's a busybody. And I think this antinatalist thing with her is just attention. It's just attention-seeking behavior. She just found a vein for constant attention. I don't like it. There's something that's kind of almost disingenuous about the way she goes about her activism, Prophet says, Diane is the kind of bitch that knocks on the door and makes a comment like, "Did you fall in there?" when she deems her husband has been taking too long of a shit. Like, lady, this is his one chance to come. Drop it. Oh, that was good. That was good.
Of taking $960,000 between 2016 and 2023. Once he realized he was under investigation, the lawsuit said he attempted to destroy evidence by logging into the Heinz Endowment's IT system without authorization. Now, how can anybody in the millennial age, how can they even think that they wouldn't get caught? In a statement issued the day the suit was filed, the Heinz Endowment said no core financial or guarantee record systems were impacted by the alleged fraud. We are deeply saddened that the actions of a...
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? She just says, she made like her statement, and is now she's just going to read the article and just go, oh, how could someone do this? How could someone do this? To the great Heinz family.
A former employee have caused us to file a federal lawsuit and to engage law enforcement. So he had a paid leave. They had to take away his email access, and they asked that a digital copy be made of his email inbox.
Oh shit! It's pretty serious.
An audit was being performed, and he would not have access to the IT system while it was pending. Less than 2 hours later, the lawsuit said, improperly, surreptitiously, and without authorization, he accessed Heinz Endowment servers and IT systems. He remained in the system for approximately 12 hours, according to the suit, during which time he improperly accessed another user account for himself and assigned it global systems administrative privileges. I mean, this is just diabolical. I mean, it's
sick. It's sick.
God. It's like stealing someone's passport right out from under them and causing them a lot of anguish and a lot of grief.
She just immediately personalized it. I guarantee you this has happened to her. Somebody has stolen her passport, and it was just the worst.
It's just cruel. It's unconscionable.
That's what
he
it is.
continues to access or attempt to access the servers through December 21st, the lawsuit said. According to the complaint, he admitted in a text message that he had accessed the servers for an alleged innocent purpose. Yeah, right, Mr. Narcissist. Mr.
You nailed him, Diane. All right, let's skip ahead here. Oh my God. Diane, you fucking boring old bitch.
Made to look like it was authorized by Operations Unlimited. The lawsuit also accuses him of selling Heinz Endowment's computer servers to a third party. So anyway, this has really, really bothered me that there are people in the world that are just so greatly different.
Just another moment of vindication. Another bad person found. Nothing gets past Detective Diane.
Than I expect, or that, that I expect out of myself and I expect out of other people. And I'm horrified that in this world there are just literal monsters. There are abusers, monsters, criminals. I mean, this guy finally looks like he, is gonna have his comeuppance.
Yeah, he's gonna face some fucking justice, dude.
What a terrible, terrible day for this molester.
But I feel like I'm having to isolate myself more and more in this world. The more I know, the less I like being.
Dude, she's driving herself crazy. She's becoming a real recluse. I mean, I think she was already kind of a little bit of a recluse. I mean, she likes to travel, so she does go out. So maybe this is just some sort of neurotic, panicked moment. But she's just driving herself crazy. Oh, that's kind of funny.
Here, and I think you could tell a lot about a person, the way that they treat their employer, somebody that gave them a chance, somebody that put food on their table, somebody, how could you bite the hand that fed you? I mean, it's just unconscionable to me. I don't work that way. And this fellow who has, been arrested for embezzling almost $1 million, how could he dare think that he would get by with such a thing? How could anybody think that? No matter how smart,
it's ridiculous,
or powerful, or crafty you are.
It's sick.
I mean, just the arrogance of somebody to think they can get by with.
It's fucked up.
Stealing.
It's no good.
And just dishonesty and deceit. So this is what's bothering me today. I don't do well with.
Yesterday it was pumping gas. So she's giving herself reasons to not leave her house. She's like, oh, if I leave the house and go anywhere, then I gotta fucking get gas. Yeah, I don't want to adult today. So she's just gonna start ordering everything off of Amazon. I'm sure she does that a lot already. I wish we could see inside her house. I want to see a clear shot of inside Casa de Diane. I want to see it. I'd be very, very curious. I feel feeling it's like pack rat vibes. I just feel like there's just stuff stacked everywhere. Like they could be on hoarders. Like a little paths, like the Chris Chan house, little pathways throughout their house to get into their rooms. Wild shit.
Dishonesty, and so I'm doing this video somewhat for my own catharsis. And hey, baby.
Oh my
my
god,
old girl. She's almost 12 or 13.
Holy shit. That was like fucking Badlands for a second there. Hey, girl. Jesus Christ.
I have to look at her birthday. But anyway, I'm just horrified to live in a world where I feel like I really do feel like there's more bad than good. And working in animal welfare, it's been very clear to me that there are definitely more bad than good.
She thinks taking in strays is working in animal welfare. She has to add some sort of pomp and circumstance, some import to anything that she does. She's selfless. She's a woman of the people and of animals, of all creatures. They didn't ask to be born, but Diane will be their mother. Mother to us all.
And at least indifferent. There are so many indifferent people. And, it's not only the criminals who are to blame. It's the people who look the other way. It's the people who don't stand up for the righteous. It's those people who enable things to go down that are wrong, and it's the people who look the other way. That's what it is. People who don't make a stand, and people who don't stand for integrity. Yeah, they're included in the bad people. So I just, it's just very sorrowful that you have to live in a world where you don't relate to people, and where you just feel like your principles are not respected. And
So why allow yourself to be abused? I agree, Diane. You got to stay in your house. Don't leave it. Don't leave it. No more sufferings, Diane. Not for you.
Not appreciated. And I mean, with every person I've hired, it's really taught me very strong life lessons. And you just have to lay down the law. You have to do better screenings. You have to lay incredible boundaries. You have to ask.
I wonder if like Diane has like a personal assistant. That would be amazing. Could you imagine the stories? I would take that job. I would take that job at least just to experience it. I'd be Diane's personal assistant. I'd get her everything. No more sufferings. Like I said, no more sufferings for Diane. Just stay in that house.
Ask a lot of questions. You have to monitor them. And that's what's unfortunate about hiring somebody. You have to monitor them, or you have to pay someone to monitor them. Right, girl? Right, Perla? So, I don't know. I'm just very disenchanted with this world. Because...
What?
I think as an employee, I was certainly better as an employee, more giving, more generous, more productive than some of those people who I hired. But I just can't excuse fraud. I'm just...
She's over it. She's sick of it. Well, that's enough. That's enough, Diane. That's enough, Diane. It was, it's always nice to go to Diane land for, a little bit. Just for a little bit.